Hello, my name is Heather Davis. In this video, I'm going to be going over my chosen topic, which is financial abuse towards women. The reason I chose this topic because of its importance in addressing an often overlooked form of abuse within intimate partner relationships. The existence of financial abuse within intimate partner relationships actually creates a threat to a survival's financial stability, autonomy, and overall well-being. It's often overshadowed by other forms of abuse, as in sexual abuse or sexual violence. In response to financial abuse, it is important for us to implement effective strategies and interventions that will help get victims out of harmful situations. My research paper unfortunately did not include a clear thesis, so I would like to add one into this video so I can better follow the needed outline for this video. And what I mean by that, the purpose meaning giving the examples of the evidence that supports my thesis. Financial abuse is a prevalent tactic used in intimate partner violence, which undermines a victim's economic stability and independence. This also hinders their ability to escape abusive relationships and achieve a good long-term well-being. The first article I'd like to mention is Examining the Impact of Economic Abuse on Intimate Partner Violence. This article supports my thesis by highlighting how financial abuse traps victims in abusive relationships. It also states that I think it's 76 to 99% of individuals that seek support have experienced financial abuse. This data, I believe, shows its major prevalence in violence against women. This is why it's so important to educate others on the prevalence of financial abuse, because it happens every day and it's very common. For the second article, I chose the article titled "It's Not All About Money," because it describes the unique impact of financial abuse on women's lives within the broader context of violence against women. It emphasizes the need for comprehensive strategies to address financial abuse, considering intersectionality, specifically with class and race. There are structural barriers like economic dependence, employment, and discrimination, legal obstacles, and social stigma that come into play when victims try and come seek support. To address these challenges, interventions are important. Interventions like education and awareness campaigns, knowledge about legal protections, and financial empowerment programs are all examples of potential areas that we can help prevent and spread awareness to potential victims. I would like to elaborate a little bit more about these specific interventions. Educational awareness campaigns can help individuals seek and identify typical behaviors that are usually seen in abusive or harmful relationships. Now, with legal protections, strengthening legal protections such as restraining orders and increasing legal aid is essential for the victim's safety and their recovery. Now, with the financial empowerment program, these programs actually provide financial education, training resources, and access to economic resources that support the journey towards independence and towards safety once again, because that is the overall goal. Again, I believe this article supports my thesis by shedding light on the obstacles that hinder women from seeking sources and how awareness about certain types of financial abuse or just abuse in general is vital. For my third and last article, titled Financial Abuse in a Banking Context, I chose it because it talks about how financial institutions can help prevent financial abuse by putting specific safety guards in place. It's very important that these banks make decisions surrounding checking accounts and things like that based on known context and the severity of the situation that may be happening. There are good and bad decisions that a bank can make when approaching a situation like this involving financial abuse. The overall goal is to have banking policies that protect and support these victims. Policies that are created with victims in mind. A good banking policy can include offering separate banking accounts for victims to regain their financial autonomy and privacy from their abuser, as well as providing educational resources on managing finances and avoiding financial dependency on that then abuser. With a negative banking policy that can actually increase the vulnerability of women in abusive financial relationships, these situations can include they're normally from unintentional harm from already existing policies or practices. An example of this would be requiring an abuser for a consent loan modification or a mortgage adjustment. These checkpoints, which are put in place for safety reasons, actually unintentionally harm victims by trapping them in these financially abusive relationships. Now, discussing what I think my research paper has gaps in or what it's missing, I believe it's missing the emphasis on just how significant a role race plays in exacerbating the symptoms or effects of financial abuse. Examples of this can be seen in discriminatory lending practices. These practices can limit a victim's access to financial resources. A victim's employment opportunities can also be affected due to discrimination. Cultural barriers such as language, immigration status, or just the general distrust of authorities can make it challenging for these victims to go and seek help. In conclusion, I believe that these three articles that I mentioned all contribute to my thesis by stating how financial abuse undermines a victim's economic stability and how intervention and support is important for a positive outcome in the end. Thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to receiving any constructive feedback, whether it be negative or positive. I really appreciate all of the knowledge and information that I've gained from this class.